Hello guys, Outdoor Viking here again, and today I'm going to be reviewing my Ifak pouch. So this is a custom built emergency first aid kit, trauma kit, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to be going for a rundown of it today. So here it is. This pouch itself is a rip-off of the Condor pouch, I think. I picked this up really cheap. I think it was about 11 quid, maybe even less. So there is some flaws on the pouch itself. There's like loose threading. I think I got it from an app called Temu. So it's not the best quality pouch, but for what I need it to do, it does very well. Because in my opinion, what's the point in spending, 20, 30, 40, 50 pound on a pouch if she's going to sit in the bag, when I'd rather put that money into the gear that's going into the pouch, especially for first aid. And this sits in my truck all the time. It sits in my big work bag I've got a 511 like duffel pouch bag, and this just rides in there. If I'm going on any big trips, it'll come out of there and go in my pack, because it just covers so much stuff. So yeah, if you want to see the pouch or whatever, it is pretty simple. It is, like I say, a cheap pouch, but it'll do the job. If you want a link to that, just comment and I'll put the link down below, or I'll find the link, whatever. So yeah, it's not really about the pouch. So you've got this like sort of rip away style thing, like cord, whatever you'd call it, strapping, which is a bit stupid because it's zipped, but whatever. So we'll start off with the backpack pockets. This is sort of like small trauma. So in the very far pockets I've got a lot of gauze. So this is abdominal pads, for bleeding, major bleeding. Then we've got some smaller gauzes, 3x3s, always handy to have. Then we have some compressed gauze, really good stuff, save your life if you're bleeding out. I think that's it for that. That's like the main blood stoppers I've got in the pocket. Another thing I just want to sort of like clear up is I do work in the building industry, and say from time to time I'm travelling a lot around the UK, going to different sites. Some of these sites, how would you say, are very rural. They're out in the middle of nowhere. They might just be starting up, so there's not a lot of resources on the site, so on. So sometimes I get into these situations where I think to myself, if anything happened here right now, would I actually survive, or would a friend survive, because some of the spots I go to are very local, they're very built up areas, there's a hospital, but some aren't. Some are like miles away, down the beaten track, and you're like, it must take an ambulance at least an hour to get to some of the spots, unless they send an air ambulance, which is not always the case, because like I say, they might be in a forested area or whatever, a woodland area, and sometimes some of the sites don't even have proper first aid, which is really poor, but that's the sad truth. And I just like to be prepared, and I know if I keep all this stuff in, it's like a stone's throw away from me at all times, because my van's always there. But anyways, it's better to have something than not have it, Emergency bandage, Israeli bandage, whatever you'd want to call it, that is a good thing to have, in my opinion. Even if you just had one of these itself and you chuck that in your pack, and maybe a compressed gauze. I am first aid trained. I've got my level 3 first aid, so I do know how to use this equipment, and that is very important. But again, I'd rather have it, even if you didn't know how to use it. It's not hard to figure out how to put compressed gauze in, how to put gauze on, how to sort of wrap yourself up if you're bleeding. It's better to have than not have it. And again, you can also wait till someone is trained maybe and tell them you've got this in your pouch, whatever. So on, so on. I'd just rather have this equipment with me. Next up then, we've got a small splint. This is sort of for your fingers or whatever. You know, you break your finger, you've got something to straighten it up with and keep it taut. These are some burn dressings, and this is actually really important to me because about a month ago now, my mate on site had touched a pipe, and for whatever reason the hot pipe was fully working and it wasn't protected or anything, and he'd sort of brazed across this pipe, and the blister he got on his hand was insane. I've never seen it come up so fast. And it was painful, so we sort of wrapped it up in this clear cling film just to sort of protect it a little bit before you could let the air get to it, because if it burst at work, the blister burst at work, sorry, then you're very open to infection. So I've started putting the burn dressings in and some burn gel. Luckily I did have some burn gel in my van, but I only had the one sachet, so I gave him some of that just to try and soothe it, but it didn't really do too much. So yeah, I've got some burn dressings there, just to cover up in case it does pop. Next then, I've got an instant ice pack, you know, for sprains, strains, whatever have you. So an instant ice pack, really cool to have. Might sprain an ankle, I don't know, again, burns, whatever. So that just comes in there. Then lastly then, you've got this smaller pocket here, which is just for like your odds and sods, cuts and scrapes. So I've got some alcohol pads, 75% ethanol alcohol. Then I've got some of these butterfly bandages, just to sort of stitch yourself up if you need to. Some plasters, some more plasters, just different coloured plasters. 2 sets of medical tape and some smaller wound pads which you can put on and tape up, whatever. But yeah, that is the Ifak pouch I wanted to show you guys. It is always better to have than not to have, so stay safe and stay blessed. See you in the next one.